Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Vince's Mosquito Biology 101. So last week we talked a little bit about egg rafts, and one of the things I forgot to mention to you, the egg rafts that I did have were actually from the Culex and Culex species. So we're going to continue actually talking about mosquito larvae, which are the Culex and the Culex species, because that's what I have in this container here. Now, there's a lot of fun facts when it comes to talking about mosquito larvae because they're actually pretty cool. And there's so much to talk about when it comes to mosquito larvae. One of the fun facts is that mosquito larvae, I don't know if you know this, do you know they actually eat 24 hours a day? They have these tiny little brushes right in front of their mouth and they push all of this food in. They're called filter feeders. Another cool thing about mosquito larvae is that mosquito larvae, they go through 4 different stages. Now, they do start out really small and they continue to grow, going through 4 different stages. The cool part about it is that as these mosquitoes grow or they molt into the very next stage, they tend to shed their skin. So a lot of times when I leave a container like this at some of the schools, in a few days they tend to see lots of skin, and because of their shedding. Do you know that we have 3,500 different species of mosquitoes in the world? And they're identified by a number of different ways. Now, when it comes to identifying mosquito larvae, the technicians, or I should say we, actually put the mosquito underneath the microscope and we look at different parts of the body. For example, we may look at the head part to see what hairs that we need to identify. We look at the siphon tube. That's always our first indicator. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for hair tufts. We're looking at a number of different things. So sometimes we're looking at the segment of the mosquito larvae. We'll look at the head. We'll look at the thorax. So there's a couple of different ways to identify mosquito larvae. So going back to my diagram, as most of you know, mosquitoes actually have 3 basic body parts: the head, the thorax, the abdomen, and the siphon tube. And what's really cool is that the minute I touch this container, my mosquito larvae actually drop to the bottom. After a few seconds or so, my mosquito tends to wiggle its way back up to the surface of the water. It hangs on by that surface tension, and it actually takes a little breath of fresh air. That is why the siphon tube is there. Now in the wintertime, when we have some of our winter type mosquitoes, they don't need to breathe. They actually will aspirate through their body. There's so much to talk about when it comes to mosquito larvae and the things that have adapted them from prehistoric times to today. It's amazing. So with that, we're gonna end it. We're gonna talk a little bit about pupa next week, and that's the fun part. That's where the metamorphosis is happening. That's cool. That is cool. Like butterflies when they go from cocoon to the adult butterfly. So it's metamorphosis time. Talk to you next week.
All right.
All right.
All you.
We ready?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Here. Okay, hold on. There's a lot of mosquitoes, as most of you know, and we're going to have to edit some of this stuff. There are different indications that tell you the species, whether they're vertical. So, we'll come back to that a little later. No, we won't come back to that later. Cut.